The iShares Short-Term National Muni Bond ETF (SUB) is an exchange-traded fund that seeks to provide investment results that correspond generally to the price and yield performance of the S&P National AMT-Free Municipal Bond Index. The fund invests in a diversified portfolio of short-term, investment-grade municipal bonds issued by states, municipalities, and other political subdivisions in the United States. The fund's investment objective is to provide investors with exposure to the short-term municipal bond market, which offers higher yields than many other short-term fixed-income securities. Municipal bonds are debt securities issued by states, municipalities, and other political subdivisions in the United States to finance public projects such as schools, highways, and hospitals. One of the main benefits of investing in short-term municipal bonds, such as those held by SUB, is the tax-free income they generate. Interest income from municipal bonds is generally exempt from federal income taxes and may also be exempt from state and local taxes for residents of the state in which the bonds are issued. This can provide investors with a higher after-tax return than comparable taxable securities. Another benefit of investing in short-term municipal bonds is their relatively low credit risk. The bonds held by SUB are investment grade, which means they are considered to have a relatively low risk of default. This is because the bonds are issued by states, municipalities, and other political subdivisions, which typically have the power to raise taxes or fees to meet their debt obligations. In addition, short-term municipal bonds tend to be less sensitive to interest rate changes than longer-term bonds. This is because the bonds have a shorter maturity, which means they will be repaid sooner, and therefore are less likely to be affected by changes in interest rates. SUB is an ETF, which means it can be bought and sold like a stock on a stock exchange. This allows investors to easily buy and sell shares of the fund, and also allows them to benefit from the liquidity and price transparency of the stock market. ETFs also provide investors with a convenient and cost-effective way to gain exposure to a diversified portfolio of securities, such as the short-term municipal bonds held by SUB. SUB has a low expense ratio of 0.07% and has been actively managed since 2007. It has an AUM of $2.2 billion as on 2021. The fund has a yield of 0.64% as on 2021. The top sector allocation of the fund is state and local governments at 63.9% and the top state allocation is California at 13.5%. In conclusion, the iShares Short-Term National Muni Bond ETF, SUB, is an exchange-traded fund that provides investors with exposure to the short-term municipal bond market. The fund invests in a diversified portfolio of short-term, investment-grade municipal bonds issued by states, municipalities, and other political subdivisions in the United States. Investing in short-term municipal bonds, such as those held by SUB, can provide investors with tax-free income and relatively low credit risk, and may be a suitable investment for those looking for income-producing investments with lower volatility than longer-term bonds.